So you want bigger arms with resistance bands. This video, I explain to you exactly how to do that. But who am I? I'm Discipline Dave, where I put the technique in your physique. My channel is dedicated to showing you how to build muscle with resistance bands. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Well, good thing you're tuning into this video because you can actually build bigger, more defined biceps with resistance bands. See? Let me explain. The reason why it's better to build muscle with resistance bands is because of the tension curve. And the tension curve is how much stress is put on the muscle. The more stress or contraction that we have with the muscle, the more it's going to be developed. So let me show you with a comparison to weights. With weights and you're doing a bicep curl, the hardest part is at the bottom of the movement. And then as you get closer to the top, it begins to get easier because right when you're right at the pinnacle of it, it's pretty much just closing your arm. That tension has lost when it goes to the top of the movement. Now with resistance bands, it's actually the opposite, where it's actually easier at the bottom and tougher at the top. And this is crucial because you're going to get maximum tension at the part that matters the most, at that contraction point. Because when you're flexing your biceps, you're doing it at the maximum portion of the pump. I mean, nobody flexes their biceps with them out completely down. In addition, notice I said it's easier at the bottom. Well, if you're using a door anchor and you start off with tension with a band, so if you step up a little bit there and you've got that tension pulling you, you can actually have tremendous tension at the bottom. But with a weight, no matter where you stand, there's going to be the same amount of tension. Harder at the bottom and easier at the top. Now, before I get to my next point of explaining how to get real good bicep development with resistance bands, I want to point out that this is a part of a series. I'm going to do multiple exercises that's going to show you and explain to you how to get the maximum benefit so you can build muscle with bands. So make sure that you check out the playlist. I'm going to be doing this every week if you want to see more videos like that. Now, in order to get the maximum benefit of developing biceps with resistance bands, you want to put your wrist at a fixed position. A lot of people are confused about what to do with the wrist when you're doing bicep curls with resistance bands. Should it be bent backwards? Should it be bent forward? Should it be moving throughout the exercise? What I say, it should be in a fixed position. Now, optimal, slightly bent backwards. Not a big extreme, but slightly bent backwards. See, what this is going to do is it's going to focus right on the bicep, because you need to make sure that we're only thinking about that. We only are thinking about the contraction here. If we move the wrist, we're involving another muscle group, and that's going to be your forearms. Not that forearms aren't important, but this is a video about bicep curls. So having it in a fixed position makes it so that all the focus goes right to the bicep. But whatever way that you prefer, I would recommend that it's in a fixed position as you're doing the curl. Now, speaking of fixed position, a lot of people underestimate your stance. Your stance when it comes to resistance bands should be in a staggered stand. What that means is that your strong leg should be back and your weak leg forward. You want the strong leg back because once you have that tension as you're pulling the bicep, you want to have good stability as you're doing it. Stability is important because it makes it so we have a solid foundation, a solid stance to only focus on the bicep. The theme is of everything I'm explaining is how do we get all the focus to this one point in the bicep? So with that said, make sure you step away from that door if you're using the door anchor, and then you want to get that tension going, put that strong leg back, and then really just have good stability going up and down. You don't want to rock the body or anything like that. Keep that staggered stance going. Now, for those people out there using loop bands, you can do this standing, so you can't really do the staggered stance, but I recommend to get maximum tension, you want to use a door anchor with your loop band. You can get bicep development by just standing on the band and doing the bicep curl, but you don't get the benefit of that tension at the bottom as I was talking about earlier if you're not using a door anchor. Both will work, but if you want better results, I highly recommend using a door anchor. Also, all the bands that I'm using in the video are in the link in the description below. So make sure you check those out if you want to look at those bands or if you need to get a door anchor for the bands you already have. Now, speaking of the door anchor, I'm going to stay on this for a little while longer. The reason why you want to use a door anchor for maximum benefit of bicep developments with a bicep curl is that it puts it in a position, it puts your arms in a position that they are behind the body. So the reason why it's good to have it behind the body, it's more of a distance to do your bicep curl, which causes more time under tension. And the time under tension is very important for muscle development. Also, it puts your arm in a position where it's in a full stretch. And a full stretch is very important when it comes to tearing muscle fibers. So when you go to a full stretch to a contracted muscle, that is the most benefit you have when it comes to tearing those muscle fibers to get ready for growth later. And when I say growth later, growth actually happens when you're sleeping. If you want to learn more about that, I had a video recently about what's killing your gains, so go ahead and check that video out. Now, the overall theme of everything I told you today, if you don't remember anything, remember this one point. This point is super crucial. This is what matters the most. You want to make sure that you're feeling the contraction in the bicep when you're doing your exercise. Every rep, every set is important. There's no wasted reps. If you're doing a bicep curl and you're feeling it in your shoulders and not in your bicep, something's wrong. Something's wrong in your stability. Something's wrong in your form. There's something going on. Maybe your stance is bad, all right? So you need to listen to your body when it comes to it. If you're not feeling it in that area, there's something off, but I can help you with that. If you're looking for detailed guidance on how to do all these exercises, I do have a workout program that runs through YouTube. Make sure you hit the link in the description below and it has a join button there. You can go ahead and check that out. There's two different levels. There's a 28-day program and a 12-week program. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily need that to get this point, but if you're not getting it, I have something there for you that's going to show you those details, because there's only so much I can do and show you in a video. But if I can show you with more detailed explanation, this is what the membership program is for. It may not be for everybody, but if it's not for you, I want you to make sure that you really are asking yourself a Q&A system when you're working out. So you can kind of understand that no matter what I do, everything that I'm trying to do is making sure that I'm feeling the muscle that I'm trying to develop. If that's not happening, something's wrong. Now, I have a lot of free videos that you can go ahead and check out on the channel. If you're a resistance bands guy like me, I would highly recommend that you subscribe. But for now, go ahead and check out the playlist of the other videos in this series, and go ahead and check out this video because I think this was going to help you too.